New England Take.
It's the New England Take. I'm your host, AJ Kierstead, NewEnglandTake.com. Please be sure to hit the like and subscribe buttons down below if you're on YouTube. Also, all major podcast platforms. Thanks to WKXL for picking up the show Saturdays, 8:30 a.m. and the GraniteGrock.com for sharing it out every Saturday. Excited to be joined by House Majority Leader Jason Osborne. Welcome back to the show.
Good afternoon. Thanks for having me.
All right, so things are just beginning to ramp up here for yet another crazy session over at the legislature here in Concord, the House. When you guys have to get all your bills in? It's the next couple of weeks, right?
It is next week. We got a one-week window to get all the bills filed that everybody has been saving up all summer to get done, and this is our one and only chance to do it.
Seems like a majority of, at least what's getting headlines and being a one of those evil right-wingers that live on X, it's what fills up a lot of the GOP feeds is education and many things around that. And one bill in particular that the House GOP did a press release on is HB 741, which is really interesting. Ability for parents to pick what school district they want to go to, and there are many logistical considerations that probably have to be involved in the long run for something like this. But what spawned this is something to consider.
Well, sure. This is just the next step in our agenda of increasing choice to its fullest extent for families across the state to be able to get the education that fits their children the best. You know, we have spent a lot of time talking about the education freedom accounts over the past couple of years, just because it's been such a long road getting that finally implemented to the point where now it's going to be available for every student. But, you know, that's just one program that works for very specific people, and it's not for everybody. So, you know, the majority of students are going to be in the public schools, which is great. And we want to give these schools and these children every opportunity they have to succeed. I mean, if you're a public school and you've got a student in your school that doesn't quite fit and would fit somewhere better, why do you want to hold on to them? Why are you trying to keep them trapped somewhere that isn't working out for you? It's not working out for them. So this legislation will enable that to happen very easily. There's a lot of misconceptions about it. I've heard some people concerned that, we just spent our tax money on this big, beautiful school. We don't want, the riffraff from the neighboring towns coming and invading us. Well, you don't have to take them. You're able to, as a school district or as a school, say, no, we're full. We don't need any more. Thank you very much. You can go somewhere else. So it's not that you are required to accept people from other towns, but you as a school are not allowed to trap your children in your school. You have to let them go if they want to go. And you don't have to send all of the money with them. It's only 80% is what we're specifying in this legislation.
And it really takes it definitely does take the school choice situation, I think, to a different level that you're more, or your less plugged in politically population might suddenly go, oh, wait a second. It's like there's been a lot of great PR with the EFAs with it being expanded, getting rid of the income cap, where, for example, my family, I don't make that much money. I'm a public servant in my day job. It's even I don't qualify for it, and it's. As someone who lives in Concord, like there's many families. We're very fortunate here where charter schools are all in the area, but you go out in the Monadnock region, you go up north, things like that. There's not charter schools or private schools where they can even capitalize on EFAs in ways that they would really prefer. This would really open the door that people would have considerably more options in their areas if the public schools decide to take this on.
Sure. Yeah, and again, it's just another step. It's not going to be the solution for every single family. But it will be for some. And then when we've taken this step, then we'll do the next step. And eventually, I'd like to see a world where every public school in New Hampshire is a charter school, and we just leave these local property taxes out of the equation. Like we don't need them. We can fund the schools from the state, just like that people are saying that we should. And we can do that if we can make every school a charter school. And that provides the maximum choice, the maximum local control for the parents on the ground. If you are sending your kid to your local school and you don't like how it's going, get together with some other parents and take your kids and go form another charter school. It's very simple. I mean, it's simple, but it's not easy, right? Like, not everybody's going to want to do it, but people who want to can. And choice and competition are the regulator. Like, you don't have to have a bunch of state mandates in there in every single school micromanaging it, saying, "Oh, we need you to do this, and you have to do that, and you have to do it this way, the way we tell you to." Just let people be free to do what they want to do. We can still fund education publicly. Like that, I get that people want to do it that way. It's not the most efficient way of doing things, but it's good enough. We can do it. We can make that happen, and we can do it with maximum flexibility, maximum choice, and maximum freedom for every family, every student, and every education provider. We want to empower teachers to be able to deliver the most quality instruction that they can possibly achieve, and not be hamstrung by bureaucratic rules.
Kind of parallel to this, I mean, are there any consideration of bills, especially with all the Claremont School District debacle of the last few weeks, where they're basically taking it's been equated to a payday loan in order just to be able to survive for the next coming weeks. Is there anything coming down the pike that is looking to address that situation in any way that you're aware of?
Yeah, all these things are going to address that situation. And again, it's all about choice. If your school is not performing, whether it's academically or financially, like, just get out, go do something else. You don't have to be tied to a failing institution if you don't want to be. And so those are the kind of solutions that we are going to be providing. There's no one, I think, in the House, Senate, or the executive branch is going to be interested in writing blank checks to school districts that, quite frankly, have been blowing taxpayer money just unconscionably. I mean, this is a school district that has been receiving from the state twice as much money as the average, and twice as much money as this recent famous court cases demanding that the legislature provide. Right? So clearly it's not the money. It's not the funding aspect of the money anyway. What I would argue is that there's a gross over expenditure problem on the spending side of this money that needs to be reined in. And I think we can do that in a way that cuts costs drastically, but yet also increases compensation of these teachers that are actually providing the education, and give them the motivation and the quality of life that they deserve for their service.
So moving over to judicial reform and all the many aspects when it comes to that. I mean, another story that's caught obviously many headlines in recent weeks has been the murder of Marisol Fuentes and Magistrate Johnson being ousted. Is there anything at the House side with regards to how the courts are handled that's being considered?
Well, I know there's going to be a lot of conversation about that, and that's, again, not just in the legislature, but coming from the executive branch as well. There is a lot of talk of whether there needs to be more judicial review of performance in that branch of government. And I don't know what the answer is going to be. I don't think anyone has without having a robust debate on the topic. I don't think anyone has a solution ready to go. How much oversight should the judiciary have? I think it is important to maintain the independence of the three branches of government. But at the same time, one branch cannot be allowed to just completely run amok and disregard the law.
What are some topics of interest that you expect to be working across the political aisle here over the coming weeks, something that's probably likely to make it through, or is going to be at least a productive debate that maybe people should keep an eye out on?
Yeah, I think so. At this stage of the game, it's hard to make a prediction of where the final product is going to end up, but there is going to be a lot of robust debate around school funding, around school administration, around accountability, around the judicial review, um, and hopefully some good, solid solutions will come out of that debate, and hopefully, at least some of it will be nice and bipartisan, and I'm sure a lot of it will be much less bipartisan and will be
No, that's never the
more
case.
geared toward preparing for the next election season. I'm thinking particularly when it comes to the issue of criminals and their ability to roam the streets freely. How much more do we want to crack the whip on that? Something that has come up just this past week into the public eye is these nonprofit organizations that HHS is imposing on local communities, where they'll just set up a home for the, I don't know, criminally insane, for lack of a better description, and they are labeled as a nonprofit, so they don't pay income or property tax to the town, but yet they're generating tons of law enforcement activity around their presence. There's a story just yesterday in Chester of some deranged fellow that had found his way into someone's home and was being violent toward them. Just a bizarre scenario, and so I think there's going to be some discussion as to what to do about that in terms of compensating these towns for their trouble, or some oversight as to where one of these facilities can be put. Like, do you want an insane asylum in your backyard?
Yeah, raises some should raise red flags
without proper fencing or walls, right?
Yeah, definitely. One more thing before I let you go here. I mean, what about the economic development side? Is there anything, especially pro-business, it's been a big focus? There's all this dilemma right now with the Department of Business and Economic Affairs and what direction that may be going in the future. What's the House looking to possibly do when it comes to the future of business in the state, which is obviously tremendously important?
Yeah, well, just this month, representatives in Manchester have arranged for a summit with regard to some medical development companies that will be moving to the state as a result of the right to try legislation that we passed just a few months ago. Previously, Montana was the best state for this kind of therapy development, because their laws were the best. And now our laws are the best, and so now all these companies want to come here to bring those latest and greatest treatments, make them available to people in our state. So that's an exciting thing, not just for business, but for health in general.
Yeah, I mean, we're seen as like one of the leaders when it comes to bioengineering research in the country, which is fantastic. So yeah, that'd be great, especially for Manchester. That could probably use a little more business, especially development. So that'll be awesome to see. So yeah, definitely keep an eye out on that. So all right, Majority Leader Osborne, thanks so much for joining me today.
Oh, no problem. Anytime.
All right, NewEnglandTake.com. Please be sure to like and subscribe, and we will talk to you soon.